actually believe that it's a real thing. No, I think yes.
I don't think so.
I think we sometimes swim in different pools, Pip. Because some of my nerdy mates, I think, just a little bit, because they've got nothing else in their lives. So it's, Star Wars or nothing. Star Wars or bust. And it's almost a religious kind of thing for them. So I'm very aware of that, and I'm sure I've offended them enormously, and that's fine. I'm completely okay with that. But, yeah, look, it's a funny old film, and I think when people sit down and watch these films, all of the Star Wars, they need to separate their nostalgia and look at the film for what it actually is. And what it actually is, in this particular case, Star Wars Awakens, is Force Awakens, I should say, is a rollicking good adventure film. And you know what? It's got a girl as the main character, and that's fine. And people who don't like her, I'm sorry, but I think the problem's at your end, not mine. It's fine. It's good. What?
Nothing. I'm not going to interrupt.
No, go for it.
Are you done?
I think I think I've offended everybody, haven't I?
Pretty much.
Okay, cool.
When this film came out, it actually made heaps of money, because obviously you've got tons of people who are Star Wars fans. And also it wasn't 1, 2, 3 or 4, 5, 6. It was 7. And everyone knew that Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill and everyone was in it. Mm-hmm. And they went, oh my gosh, it's everyone from the original films. This is great. And
transitional.
Now, this might surprise you, Paul, but growing up on a farm when we only had videos to watch, Mum had bought us 4, 5 and 6 Star Wars, and we watched it over and over and over again. So even though I'm not from the same age bracket, we were pretty much brought up on 4, 5 and 6, and we loved it.
Yes.
That's why I'm a massive Harrison Ford fan. I loved the original Star Wars.
I know you're a massive Harrison Ford fan, and that's why I deride him at every opportunity I can get.
Well, because I love the Indiana Jones movies, and I love I love a wonderful hero story. I love it very much, and not so much that I want to be a Jedi, but
he's an adequate actor.
Oh, anyway, this film is, now I might be wrong, but I think it's the first film where George Lucas didn't have a massive hand in this film.
No, they basically wrapped him up and then took him off to the asylum. And they said, you cannot have anything to do with this. No, stay away.
It's just, why wouldn't he?
For once in our lives, we need to make a decent Star Wars.
He's made his money. He can just, and George Lucas Productions is still involved. Why wouldn't he just sit back and go, you guys are all pros, go for it? And I mean, a lot of the writers have already done all the writing on the original the original form, Star Wars films and Indiana Jones films and everything that he's worked with. So, why wouldn't he just sit back?
Now, this is Abrams, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. This is J.J. Abrams?
Yes.
Yes. Now, he's done quite a few space ones. I think he
did Star Trek.
Yes, he did.
Trek.
Now, he's one who basically launched the new Star Treks, and I think he did a great job on them.
He's obviously got a soft spot for space. He did Armageddon too.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Was that his first film or something, was it?
Not his first film, but again, it's a space film and he must love space.
Well, he's good at it. He's good at it. So, because that's a bit of a favourite, the old Armageddon. It's a dreadful film, but I still love it.
But it's his sort of thing, isn't it? And I don't know. To me, they were trying to follow the traditional, like, it's got a bit of a comedy character here and it's got this and that. And so they're trying to follow the original Star Wars sort of storyline. So, yeah, to me, they'd probably push the comedy a bit more than what it's not a heavy film. There's no real, that's not true. It still has.
No. I disagree with that because, spoiler alert.
Everyone tune out now.
The guy with the black mask stuck a lightsaber through his father's chest. Now, if that's not dark, I don't know what is dark.
No, that part was dark, but all the stuff previous to it was all a bit, for instance, like John Boyega's character's Finn, he was, to me, kept coming off with a bumbling comedian sort of character.
Yep.
And I found at the very start the fact that he's a stormtrooper, because I'd never given much thought to the stormtrooper.
Yep.
And then he's going, I don't want to do this. This is horrible. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, because I'd never given any thought, and I thought that was really interesting. But that was at the very start of the film.
Yep.
And then he sort of...
So here's a stormtrooper, the very first stormtrooper who apparently can shoot straight. And he was shooting all those bits and pieces that are hanging off the bottom of the Star Destroyer as he's
You're
flying
missing
out
the
of
point. He's a
No,
good
I'm
guy
not.
then.
No, I'm not. Yeah, so if you're
It's
evil...
traditional Star Wars.
If you're evil, you can't shoot straight. But if you're a good guy, one of the good guys, apparently you bang on. So, yes.
But I think it would make lots of Star Wars lovers very happy. As a standalone film, though,
Yep.
it wouldn't be very good. You need the Star Wars background
Can
for
we
it.
address some of the plot things that were wrong with this film? Pardon me, I've got the hiccups now. I've been eating bread.
And drinking and eating bread.
That's the one. Can I just tell you some of my pet hates about this film?
If you can actually tell me.
Shithead. First of all, the crash course in the Force, that what's-her-face, that shat me.
Oh, I know.
I'm sorry. She looked like she was having a turd, and then all of a sudden she could do all these fancy, like she learned how to do the mind.
Without a trainer and a master to follow.
That's right.
Yes.
Or anything, or any idea of what the limitations of it were. It was just such a stretch that anybody who's had anything to... I'm just saying...
It might annoy a few fans.
I'm just holding up the flag for all of the Star Trek fans who...
Star Wars.
Geez, I just put my foot in it there, didn't I? All the Star Wars fans who put... Jesus Christ, you can see which side of the cake I'm on. Star Trek is far better. But anyway, it is. It's got far more depth than Star Wars.
Oh, it's got a lot of more episodes.
That's exactly right. That's why it's got more depth.
No.
You were on a farm. What would you know? Okay, so look, as I was saying, that shat me. Suddenly she was able to be efficient in a lightsaber duel without never ever slashing one around, you know.
And then he got to do it as well.
Who?
Finn.
Yeah, I know. But like by that stage of the game, you're kind of just going, oh, whatever. You know, it really was a case of that, you know, like the Force was suddenly giving people superpowers. And it was just, it had turned into the Marvel Universe a little bit, hadn't it? So you agree with me on that? It was a bit over the top.
Yes, I know. That was just, when that occurred, I went, why does he get to do that? He's not one of those.
That's right. He's not even got the Force. But see, this is it. He's a stormtrooper who could suddenly shoot straight. And it
must be the gear. It must be the gear that makes him unable to shoot.
Maybe that's what it is.
As soon as you ditch it, you can shoot.
You can shoot. You can see where you're shooting.
Can I just say I'm not gonna say what it is, but the very last scene of the show, the length of it irritated me too.
Oh no, say it because I can't remember what you're talking about.
Oh, well, okay. Tune out now if you haven't seen the film.
No, look,
and you plan on seeing it. The length of where she's holding out the lightsaber for Luke.
Oh, that. Yeah.
And it just goes on forever.
Okay, we get the idea, but let's jump in a helicopter and do a fly around, shall we?
As I'm watching the scene, my brain went back to Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, where I go, yes, the biggest actor that everyone's looking for is in the last second of the film.
Yeah.
But then they just go, we'll extend it out for ages.
What I loved about that was there was quite a bit of... Yeah, I know, but he was throwing the full... I really like Mark Hamill, not because he was Luke Skywalker in the very first one, or that, you know, that got him off and going. But I think he's got a very sly sense of humour for an American. I think it's a very... he's got a really nice sense of humour, and he's quite happy to downplay himself. Like he's gone right... I'd say he's been immortalised by Star Wars and he's kind of over it a bit, you know what I mean? And like his sense of humour, because he did quite a few YouTube things where he was doing other stuff sort of thing, because, you know, YouTube is where Star Wars people go to play. And he was doing the whole taking the piss out of himself with the big intensive stare, which went for about 2.5 minutes, you know. So well done,
I haven't
Mark
seen
Hamill.
that. I should go and see that.
Oh no, knock yourself out because there's plenty of them. And he's quite good. He just takes a piss out of himself. So You know, and that's what I like about it.
I only remember him from the
Not like Harrison Ford, who takes himself way too seriously.
I remember him from the Simpsons episode where he goes, "Use the fork." And
Yes.
I'm just wondering, did he even get a chance to say what he wanted to say in that? I don't know.
He must have thought he'd never get a role again, because there's a young man whose acting career starts off and he is the most stereotyped man on the planet. By far. By far and away. He never gets another proper role because everyone goes, "That's Mark Hamill. Hello, Luke Skywalker. How are you?" You know, oh, fuck's sake.
Well, what must happen is people go, "Oh, it's Luke," and he goes, "It's Mark." Could you imagine that happening?
Oh, I think he could. I'm sure it's happened a few times for him.
It's Mark. It's not Luke. Oh.
Oh, hello. We've lost power. We've lost power? We've lost everything. Hang on. We're still recording, though.
Did you kick
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Did you kick something?
Yes. Oh, Jesus. We might have to stop. No. Is it going? It's good. Okay. Keep going.
Stop kicking stuff. Back it up. Just back it up.
All of our quality equipment.
Back it up.
Our quality equipment.
back it up.
I feel like Beaker out of the Muppets. You know?
I bet Beaker had better equipment though.
Oh, God. Okay, so, look. Well, it's getting on. Oh, jeez. Well,
There's one more thing.
Yes?
The music was John Williams.
Okay, can I say one thing about this music?
Go for your life.
I had to do the music for our little thing there.
Our synopsis.
And I've never really sat and actually listened to it.
Really?
Not as a soundtrack in its own right. And can I say, people should.
It's a good piece of music.
It's an excellent piece of music.
And
I was sitting
people
there
already
listening.
know, they hear it and they go, oh, and their hearts swell and, you know, if they're weirdos like we are.
It's really top notch. But it's John Williamson. You wouldn't expect shit out of him. But you know what I mean? You kind of, he's got all these big pieces that he can lean on. But the other stuff, the stuff in between is really very good. It's really very good. Very Holtzian. Eric Holtz.
Oh, yes.
As in the planets. In particular, Mars. Yeah.
No, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful soundtrack. It looks great. They've obviously had heaps of people working day and night on this thing. And then they've got
He does like a trumpet, though, doesn't he? A trumpet and a trombone. I think
the brass.
Yes, that's where his happy place is, I'm sure.
I on purpose.
Must have been a coal miner in a previous life. That's one for you, Bruce.
But I didn't watch the 2017 The Last Jedi film.
Yep.
Purely because I watched the next film after the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and it clouded my judgment. I thought, no, I won't do it. I'll watch it next week after we've done the review. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I will watch it next week.
What's your scores?
I was just a tiny little incy bit disappointed with some of the storyline and some of the fault, the whole Jedi Knight thing. So I'd probably only give it a 6.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm not going to argue that because we did discuss some of those. And if you want to sit down and smack it around a bit, you can. There's a lot of things wrong with this film.
But if you're a Star Wars fan, you will watch this film. And you need to watch all of them in order. It's just the way it works.
Okay, now yours was based on entertainment. And as you know, I don't base mine on entertainment. I base mine on what it's designed to do. And I believe that what this film is designed to do is to be a transition from the old Star Wars into the new Star Wars. It's a transitional film, and I think it does it a very good job. It's not a great film, but I think from that basis of it being transitional, I think it achieves, for the most part, what it's trying to do. I do have some big issues with some of its script writing and just bullshit, basically. Well, I was, all of that stuff. So I'm only going to give it a 7.
Okay.
I would like to give it an 8 because I actually enjoy it. I actually enjoy it as a film. And I know a lot of people don't, but I think what it's trying to do, it could have got an 8 if it didn't have all that extra crap in it. but it had all that extra crap in it, and so therefore it gets marked down for that. So
Okay.
back down to a 7.
So 7 stars from Paul and